I'll go through them as quickly as I can. If everyone can just be quiet for a minute, because like I always say, this is important, and it is important. To get this game on today, firstly, yesterday we asked for volunteers to come to the ground, clean up, wash the seats down, and just generally move a lot of ironwork from the wall that had fallen down, etc. Hey, Lee, calm it down, lads, just so these people can hear. Alright, good lad. So, basically, yesterday we asked for volunteers, and I just want to say thank you. There were over 30 people turned up. They worked really hard all day so that we could put this game on today, and also they were fed and watered by, I think, Dawn, Pam and Joe in the kitchen. Thank you girls very much. Fantastic effort, and thanks to all the volunteers. But, you know, if that wasn't enough, we got up this morning and, well, down at Askham there's about 24 foot of snow. I don't know what it was like in Barrow, but Askham was nearly cut off. Anyway, we came down the ground at 9:30. I can't tell you, if you just came this afternoon, it was just completely white, as you can imagine, the terraces and everything. We decided the game could go ahead because the pitch had been insulated really by the snow and it was soft enough to play. So we decided that would happen, and I tell you what, before we got it on Facebook, before we got it on the website or anything, it's just humbling to see how many people walk through those gates carrying brushes, shovels and everything. We ended up with 35 people clearing all the terraces, chucking rock salt down. My little bit was I went on the pitch and we couldn't see the lines on the pitch. So if you look closely, you could just about make it out. So I said, I'll do this one behind the try line on this side with me and Andy, wasn't it, Andy? So we didn't have any shovels at that time, so we used brushes. Took bloody ages it did, so we brushed it all off. And we're on the terraces after that, and half an hour later, turn around, Dave Kendall's there, going along with a shovel. I said, what are you doing? We've done that. He said, you missed the line. Couldn't believe it. Typical anyway. Right, before we move on to have a bit of a laugh, and then we'll do the man of the... Well, I'll say a bit of a laugh, it might be boring as sin, but anyway, before we do that...
It's not stopped you yet!
I'll tell you what, we got the game on today because of the hard work of all our volunteers, but we wouldn't have had a game if it wasn't for the Barrow Raiders and Workington, and let's put our hands together for the lads to play in them conditions. Unbelievable. And to be honest, at the end of it, personally, you know, we could have nicked it, they could have nicked it, that's the way it is in this weather, but I thought the lads put in a fantastic performance, and I thought 10-all was a fair result, so well done both teams, fantastic. Right, now I was just going to go straight on to the man of the match, because I did notice a few Workington people in the audience, but these guys on my left here insisted that I do some interesting facts on Workington. So, I have got a couple as it happens, and they are based on the truth as well. Right, so if you're interested, listen to this. On the 18th of May in 1568, Mary, Queen of Scots, escaped to Workington after defeat in battle. She sailed across the Solway Firth, she landed at Workington, and she stayed for one night at Workington Hall in the company of the Kerwin family. She left Workington the next day and was heard to say, my God, I thought the people from Scotland were rough. Right, that's true that. In Anglo-Saxon times, Workington was originally called, now I've got to practice this, Weorks Ingus Tun. And that translates as the people of Weorks Town. Amazingly, and this is God's honest truth, in the last 1,000 years, the name of Workington has been written in 105 different ways. Samuel Pepys visited Workington, as it was then known, Workington, in 1851, and he wrote in his famous diary that Workington was a dump. The next day, he apologised to the people of Workington when he realised he'd actually been in Whitehaven. That's one for the Workington lads. Right, now, I can't finish this bit without telling you about TripAdvisor, because I always have to go on TripAdvisor. To be honest, there's not an awful lot there. I can't even find it. There's not a lot there. Here it is. But I did find this. Hi everyone, I need a recommendation for a hotel stroke guest house in Workington on August the 14th. Any help would be appreciated. They got the following reply. This post has been closed due to lack of inactivity. On the 25th of August last year, Carly from Liverpool put the following message on TripAdvisor. Hi, can anyone advise me of any activities or sightseeing in and around Workington? Jen, 6978 of Workington, replied, no. Right, that's your lot on that. Right. Let's get down to the match day sponsors. Man of the match. Firstly, I think it's absolutely amazing that you can have a friendly match and get 9 match day sponsors. James Doughty, Stuart and Carol Galloway, Andy Rennell, Jill Gerrish, Paul and Helen Doughty, Bill and Barbara Caulfield. Absolutely fantastic. These guys have sponsored the day. So, they're all more than welcome to come onto the stage, because we're going to do the man of the match presentation. And the man of the match is a guy who, I've got to tell you now, I've been at the club now 5 years. This lad has stayed with the club. To be honest, in the early years he didn't get a lot of game time, but every time he walked on the pitch he gave 100% for Barrow. And I know, I mean, I have nothing to do with picking the team obviously, but over the years people have said time and time again, why is this lad not playing week in, week out? He had a fantastic game today. He'll never let Barrow Raiders down, and I'm delighted to tell you today's man of the match is Brad Marlowe! Go on, Brad. Let's have some of the match day, or you're all up here, whatever. Get your photo taken. We need Brad as well. Where's he gone? He was here a minute ago. Where's he at?
It's bedtime, he's got home.
No, he was. I saw him here. Right, look under the tables. Where's he hiding? Come on, Brad. I know you're here. Oh, right, well, on behalf of Brad, I'd just like to say I was really impressed with the way I played today. I put me all in. I tried my best. I thought some of the other lads let me down, but I covered for them. Thank you very much for the Man of the Match award, and we're looking forward to a great season. Thanks, Brad. Sorry. So sorry, Joe. Is he really gone, honestly? Right, just before we move on to a couple of final things, I've got to say this because I think this is absolutely incredible. Christ, got that many bits of paper. Give me a moment. Right, the first thing is, just before I do this, every match this year, we're going to do a cocktail of the day behind the bar. Now what we're going to do is we're going to relate it to the fact we play rugby and the conditions on the day. So if you go to the bar now, you can have a freeze your balls off for £5. Right, come on. I want you to give a big hand to the... Hey, mate's just got it, you're right, mate. Right, the boys of Old Barrow, they've just told me that... I know, don't start singing for Christ's sake. They've just told me the under-8s and the under-10s of Barrow Island, can you believe this? They've donated £100 to help us rebuild that wall. Put your hands together for that, that's fantastic, that. Absolutely fantastic. Right. Before we get the comments of Cresta on the game, something very important's happened this year at Barrow Raiders, and that's the fact that we've done some partnerships and we've created an academy team. Now, this is, to be honest, this is nothing to do with us, the directors particularly, other than giving our backing. This is down to Darren Carter, Paul, our coach, Keith Nutter, other guys. There's a lot of guys working behind the scenes, but these guys have driven it, and through their dedication and hard work, we are now getting an academy team up and running. And I'd just like to ask Darren to come up. I'm going to ask him a couple of questions, and he's going to give us some fantastic answers. Come on, Darren. Right. This is the most important thing I think, since I've been at the club, to me this is the most important thing the club's done other than survive, really. Darren, so what's happened basically is these guys have worked really hard. They've formed partnerships with Travel the Globe, the Furnace Building Society, the Super Lotto, and by getting these sponsors behind them and dealing with Furnace Academy, that's Furnace College, it's complicated, but it's allowed us to get an academy team on the field without it coming under the sort of professional banner of Barrow. So, Darren, if you could just tell us where we're at now, and obviously the partnerships have been formed, you've probably seen that in the paper, and what we really want to know is where we go from here. When are they going to start playing? Are they going to be playing friendlies? Are they going to be playing actual matches? And ultimately, are they going to be playing at Craven Park?
Basically, there has been a lot of hard work gone into it. It's, I think it all came from a conversation Paul had with John Spewer, and it was regarding the funding from the Super Lotto and where the best place would be, or what Paul wanted to do with that funding. Now the floodlights have been put in place. Knowing Paul like I do, Crester's 24/7 rugby league, but his big passion is the junior development in the area. So I think they've come together and come up with a bit of a plan, and it started off with the development days that we had down here last year with the under-12s, up to under-16s. And then at the end of that, we were thinking what would be the next progression from under-16s to under-19s and fill the gap without having a massive impact on the local area. So if we signed all the players, then it would have an impact on all the local amateur teams. So we had loads of meetings, loads of different discussions with the RFL, and we came up with the college route would be the best route for us because it'd have no impact on the amateur game. The players could come in, train once a week with us in this environment, and we're just in the throes of ordering them the same training kit as what the first team have got, all with the partners, sponsors on, and the same training stuff. The kit's going to be the same, so they're going to feel part of the club massively, but they're not going to be penalised, or they're not going to be taken away from the community clubs. We're actively pushing them to play for the community clubs. So that season starts in September. It's a winter season in the Premier Division of the College League. So, but what we're doing now, we've started training with them, and we're hoping. We've actually just been given a friendly on the 16th of March, which is Wednesday, down here against Leeds Trinity University. So that's our first proper game, and we're going to have maybe 5 or 6 games in the March, April, May time, with a view to playing in September.
Okay, when do you think? Round of applause. When you set this up, you never quite know how it's going to go, but you very kindly invited me to a couple of meetings, and I tell you what, guys, I came into this Raiders bar. It was a cold night, and not only were over 20 players there, all the parents were there, all the sponsors were there, all the partners were there. I mean, Darren, you must be absolutely delighted with the way that all these people are backing it, and it just shows you the people of Barrow want this to happen, don't they, as well as us?
Oh, most definitely. Like I say, we've identified that this club is a bit of a special club, and compared to all the other Championship 1 teams, I think it's, regardless of what they do on the field, off the field, the far and away the best supported team. The infrastructure is probably the best as well. And we've told these players that. We've said to them, look, you come in. I think the last time Paul was here, we set an academy up, and there must have been 8 or 9 of them players who went and played professional rugby. Probably, unfortunately for work, it benefited on a lot of them. But what I'm saying is, there is definitely going to be some players come through Barrow, and we're hoping that one day, if a Super League comes and takes him, then Barrow gets some money back for him and that, and then we'll all give him, that'll be the perfect scenario. So, but like I say, we're pretty much sure that we're going to generate some players for this club.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, when these games occur, we want you all to come down here and support them. But look, show your appreciation to Darren and Paul, Keith Nutter and the team. Fantastic what they're doing at this club, absolutely fantastic. Right, Paul, we can't let you go home without saying a few words, so you want to come up.
Come on, boss! Come on, boss! Come on, boss!
Come on.